Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the community-driven Landcare stream. Very happy to have you all here today. I'd also like to thank our sponsor for this stream, Bupa, and I'll call on Maya from Bupa to come up and welcome you all to today's sessions.
Hello everyone, welcome to this session. My name is Maya Rivas. I'm the Senior Manager of Sustainability and Social Impact at Bupa, and I'm here representing Bupa because we're sponsoring this session. I'll just start by saying thank you for coming to this session. It's wonderful to see so many people in the room, and a big thank you to those who are presenting. It is not easy to present, but it's when we hear from people who are doing the amazing work on the ground that we get to do better work ourselves. So we'll all be better from hearing from all of you, so thank you. Just very quickly, why is Bupa a sponsor today? Why does Bupa care? Now, Bupa as a healthcare company knows that if we're going to be able to be as healthy as we can as people, we need the planet and environment to be healthy around us. So Bupa's got a global program called the Healthy Cities Program that I work on a lot of the time. And that program is about raising awareness about the connection between people and planet health and empowering people to take action. Now, as part of that program, we actually have a partnership with Landcare Australia, and they are absolutely fantastic. And as part of that partnership, we're able to get funding to community groups to do nature regeneration on the ground. So hence, we want to be part of this session, and I'm so keen to hear about all those projects that are happening within communities and at grassroots level, and I'm looking forward to taking a lot away so I can do better work myself. But thank you for the time, and thank you everyone.
Thank you very much, Maya, for that welcome. So I will now call on Linda, Rodney and Sameeka from South East Landcare, who are going to chat to you about growing local leaders for land and people.
Good morning. I have the very great pleasure today of speaking to you about the Southeast Local Leaders Program and how we can use it as an example for growing local leaders for land and people. My name's Linda Cavanagh, and I am the Regional Landcare Coordinator for Southeast New South Wales. I am joined here today by my friends and colleagues. I've got Rodney, Freeman and Sameeka Wighton. Rodney is a Wiradjuri man, and he works for Southeast Local Land Services as the Senior Aboriginal Community Support Officer. And Sameeka is a Wiradjuri woman, and she works for the Wabunja Rangers. She's a Senior Ranger, and that's part of the Batemans Bay Local Aboriginal Lands Council. So Rodney and Sameeka are also two of our recent graduates of our 2025 Local Leaders Program, and they're going to share their personal experiences of the program this year and what it's meant to them and their communities. I'm going to tell you a little bit first about the framework of the program, a little bit of history, and then Rodney and Sameeka will talk to you about their personal experiences. So what we're hoping to do is to inspire you to use this model as a way to tell to do these leadership journeys within your communities and grow similar communities of learning in your states and across the nation. So the Local Leaders Program in the Southeast is designed to empower participants with the skills, knowledge and confidence to transform their communities whilst we're still fostering their personal growth. So participants often report enhanced confidence, improved problem-solving skills, and also just an understanding that they have a real potential to lead within their communities. And we heard Brendan talk earlier today about leaders are not always at the front of these communities. They are embedded within the community, and often we're leading from the ground up. So that means that the participants are getting these skills, but also the communities are benefiting from these innovative solutions, the enhanced networking that happens because of the way that we run the program. And we've got these people, these leaders who are committed to making a positive impact in their communities. And we all know that strengthening community capacity is not only about the projects on the ground, but it's about a collective resilience, and it's about being more prepared for those extreme weather events and the crises and economic and social sort of challenges that we're facing at the moment. So the South East Local Leaders Program has long been a foundational piece of the regional community of practice. And the regional community of practice has been a partnership between South East Local Land Services and South East Landcare for over 10 years. And the Local Leaders Program was born from an observation that we could see that communities were thriving where they had good leaders in them. The partnership between Global Learning, Local Land Services and South East Landcare has been an integral part of the delivery of that, and each of those partners brings something else to the table. So Global Learning is our training provider, and they bring the leadership development. We've got South East Landcare, our people who are connected through the communities to the grassroots people on the ground. And then we've got Local Land Services, who's our government partner, who helps us with the regional delivery of the project and the significant sponsorship. So the structure of the leadership program is really important, and it is structured as 3 lots of 3-day residentials. The first of which is an active learning program where participants learn a lot about themselves and they get thrown into a deep dive situation which is in a supported environment, and they really get to know their team members and they get to learn a lot about themselves. The second 3-day workshop is called the Co-Create, and where those skills start to then get put into practice in working in small teams. And then the third and final workshop is an opportunity for those participants to share what they've learnt on the journey. They invite their guests and their sponsors to come and to show what they've learnt, and that is sort of more community based, and then it prepares them to go back out into their communities. So this is just a little dot point about where we've come from and where we're at now. So we've had 10 cohorts since the start of the program, over 150 participants now drawn across to southeast New South Wales. We have a great diversity of participants, and they come from different geographical areas, they come from different cultural communities, and a really wide range of ages as well. Like we had in the last program, we had an 18-year-old and a 70-year-old in the same group, and they formed a really warm, wonderful friendship. So the diversity makes it great. And the past participants then are invited to be part of an alumni group, which means that you get support beyond the life of the program, and that networking and that mentorship is a really integral part of the model. So the South East Local Leaders Program invites people from across the South East Local Land Services region who are working in community, industry and government. And these are all people who are interested in leading change in their communities. An important part of it is to set up a culturally safe space, and it's culturally safe learning environment, and a really important part of the involvement in that has been our involvement with our Indigenous partners. So that is particularly the Walbunja Rangers, which is, Sameeka's going to talk about that in a minute, where we've learnt a lot. They share their not only cultural knowledge but also traditional land management practices, and Rodney will also talk about that. But we also just get a different leadership perspective, and they're very much connected to their community and to country. As Landcare coordinators and community members, the volunteers who work in our committees, we're often thrown into leadership roles without any formal training. We're often learning on the job, and they're in unstructured, sort of not conventionally supported environments. So for this group in the southeast to have a structured leadership training has really helped to sort of support those people who are doing those roles to actually prepare them better to practice these stepping up into these leadership roles in a safe, supported environment. Participants not only learn about themselves and get a better sense of themselves, but they also learn to collaborate across the other sectors. Because we've got such a diverse range of participants, the mentors then become part of a network that exists long after the program. So these mentors can be part of the alumni, so they can be past participants, or we invite special guests in. So here we had Janara Goring last year talking about sacred leadership, where we learnt a lot about coming together with community and country. So the program doesn't only develop individual leadership, but it also strengthens collective resilience. And enduring friendships and professional networks are a really great tribute to the success of the program. So each participant chooses a project that they work on during the time that their journey, and it sort of ensures that the leadership is grounded in action as well on the ground. So we have a great diversity of participants, and that means that we have a really interesting sort of flow of those projects going out into the community, and they really are making stories of impact into our region. So we've got participants who are involved in environmental groups, like Landcare groups or Bega Valley Council. We've got community health alliances, we've got social enterprise groups. Most recently, one of the participants was from a Good Surf, which is Australia's first surf school for people with disabilities. This is the Conjola Crop Swap. So there's just, there's a real trickle effect that goes down into the communities. The participants are then invited into our regional community of practice, and they are then invited to join us in our annual muster, and Rodney's going to talk a bit about that later too. So I'm not going to talk too much more because I know you're all wanting to hear from Rodney and Sameeka, and I'm going to ask them about their experience on the program. So over to you, Rodney.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, look, this is a very quite new experience for me, exciting experience. Going from all the various positions I've been in through government organisations and all that, then coming to, I work for local land services, so I was invited to come along to the Leaders Program, and I found it pretty good. Not only on what it offered, but the outcomes and all that too. So it's a strength building program. You might think, oh, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to talk to all the big shots, all the leaders and all that up top. But really this course is about the leader in you, the leader that in the environment that you can become if you want to try to be better and everything else. So, and that's what it was all about. It was pretty good. It was very encouraging for me to get involved and become our leader. And it was such a good course, you know, going in, finding out that, you know, you're getting 12 assignments all being straight up, and then all of a sudden you say, geez, what did I sign up for? But the main thing is, even though it's you, but you're with other people, they're going to help grow you. So the leader was not only just you, the leader was all of us put together. So, and teaching and learning of other people and all that was a great big step. So,
What are you doing in the slide?
Oh, slide? Okay, this slide here, we're at Bamarang, and this slide here was all about learning, because you got different subjects and all that within and all different people and backgrounds and all that. So they asked me to do a cultural experience, and this one was all about cultural safety within government organisations or within general, community and all that. So we covered from different aspects of what is cultural safety. And for me to sit down and explain that here, it'll take another 2 or 3 sessions, so I won't go into all that. But this one here, again, it's about not throwing all Aboriginal people into one basket. We have so many different nationalities and language groups and everything else, but we all have our own upbringings and our protocols and all that too. So this was about cultural safety. How do we treat Aboriginal people, and all that within your organisations and everything else. So it's not about just going out and put an Aboriginal painting up on the wall and say we've done it. It's more than that. So that sort of stuff. And then we covered all on native plants and everything else, traditional styles.
And what about beyond the program?
Oh, beyond the program. So working with local land services and united with Landcare and all that. So I was asked to do a muster, and the muster is government organisations and all that coming together. And then I did a cultural awareness. So the cultural awareness is right from different Aboriginal groups within the area, language groups and all that, different protocols and what they do and why we don't put them all in one basket. From artefacts right through. I make all my own artefacts and everything else that you see there. Right through from just protocols on artefacts and everything else, and then right through bush tucker and everything else. So I do a fair bit of bush tucker, plant ID and everything else throughout my life. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Right. Thank you.
So,
Now, Sameeka, do you want to ask? Okay, Sameeka, tell us about your experience on the course.
What we got here in the picture, I've done a bit of healing. So we got asked to do an activity ourselves and bring it to the group. So right here we picked a rock and we've done a bit of healing. So Kookarai wind spirit down in the south coast there. So we just got a little bit, healing the land, and then Kookarai wind spirit will come through and gently blow. Yeah, and so on and so on.
And just tell us about, once you've gone back to your community, what it's meant to be part of the program.
Well, yeah, here. Went up to a sacred site. They came and done some filming. But yeah, going back to my group, my rangers and that, and being a stronger leader, this whole program wouldn't be doing this right now. So the confidence and everything like that, and going back to teach my mob there. So it's been really good.
We're so proud of you. Okay, so if you guys are interested in growing your own local leaders, here's just some things that have worked well for us. Investing in your grassroots, people who are already on the ground. Take time to create culturally safe places. And really important is the supporting the networks beyond the life of the program and the diversity. So, Rodney, you can talk a little bit to the...
yes, sorry, Costa, we have the L's in ours, not the C's. But we've got like what we go by, well, I go by, are the 6 L's, and we are make up with all what you see up here, and the first L is law, L-O-R-E. And then once you learn about law, you need to look, listen and learn. So once you look, listen and learn, then you tend to love. So once you love your all your stuff you do, then you become a leader. So we have our law, look, listen and learn, our love and our lead, so our 6 L's. Thank you.
Okay, and so if you'd like to know any more about the program... Oh, hang on. How many Leaders graduates have we got here? Can we have a show of... You could ask these people in the room as well. They're all part of the program. So, and there's a video on this QR code, so quick QR code. So we got time for questions or not?
Yeah, thank you very much, Linda, Rodney and Sameeka. That was fantastic. I've got a mic here, so we do have time for a few questions. If anyone wants to pop your hand up, I can come to you.
This is not questions, more of just a comment. So I'm from Intrepid Landcare, and just listening and watching your guys' presentation, it's really fantastic to see programs like this taking off, and especially people getting out of their comfort zone and presenting. So well done, guys. It was fantastic.
Hello everyone, I'm from Boulia and Boulia Rivers Landcare Treasurer. We had a local ranger group because the tribe around Boulia is Pitta, just 20k out of Challoner, and when you get to Cloncurry it's Mitakootie, Mount Isa is the Calcadoons, everybody knows the Calcadoons. But what we had struggled with our ranger group, they were quite interested to start with, but because we didn't have any funding much, and it was just spraying Parkinsonia, we know, with backpacks and spray bottles and that. And I tried to make it interesting. At lunchtime I'd cook, we'd have rib bones on a barbecue and have we'd talk about some bush tucker, lungas or that we could find in the area. But they lost interest. We had 2 or 3 field days where they came to, but it just wasn't interesting enough, and I didn't know any other ideas, and we didn't have any funding to keep them motivated. And we had 10 at our first one, and then it was 5 and then 2, and then they didn't want to come, so, but they were quite younger. The eldest of our ranger group was about 15 and the youngest being about 7. How would you suggest we keep interest and motivation when we're just spraying weeds? Have you got any suggestions?
How do you guys get your school kids?
We do a lot of talks in schools, mainly high schools as well. We go in there when we can and do little workshops as well. And we've got about 4 trainee school bases at the moment. And we just signed up another 3 that just left high school as well. So, just get into the schools, I guess, and keep pushing it. But, yeah. And then we do experience days too, so ranger experience days, so you can come out and, have fun with us, and we show you what we do. We make it fun that day, so that's how you get it.
And just on the, that QR code will take you to the South East Landcare website, but there's a film there that's just been made about the 2025 program with a particular emphasis on the Walbunja Ranger involvement, so you might find that's interesting. Made by Enviromedia.
Any other questions?
Obviously in the Landcare space you're dealing a lot with volunteers, so does it apply to, I guess, recruiting volunteers and with the idea of them becoming more active in Landcare?
We definitely find that volunteers who are better supported by enhancing their leadership skills are kind of more empowered to step into those roles. So, and by not only developing their own personal skills, but because of the way that we pull a whole lot of networks together and they become part of a bigger community of practice, they're better supported, I think, and that makes it more attractive maybe to be a volunteer. I'm not saying it's easy, of course volunteer burnout is a huge thing, but I think if this is just one way that we found that we can support those volunteers. Yeah.
Thank you. There was one more? Great. This is probably the last question. These sessions go way too quickly.
Thank you. Good job. I just wanted to ask a question, and this is really something that we're doing down home, but as things, stop, start, because money, and we've got to park money aside to save money up to start over and do the thing, so we actually doing it on a oily rag. The question I wanted to ask is, have you thought about this? This is really good, and this is what's needed given the current social welfare problems that we all experience, no matter what nationality you are in Australia, with drugs, alcohol, all of this sort of stuff. Do you think that this here, or are you looking into things, because that there is a great model to take out into country about I forgot that word. They got this new word out now, but I guess it's reinvesting into communities, into youth, and all this sort of stuff. Diversionary programs. So this sort of thing here, this is what we're trying to do down there, but you know, that stop, start. So again, I thank you, and I'm glad I come in here, but my question is, moving forward from the Landcare, the three, well, you've got 4 there, and that's the first time I heard about global learning, which is good. I'm going to look into that. But what are the future plans, and how long has this been going, and where do you think you'd take this next? And have you thought about expansion and given the opportunity to upskill people, community people, that are interested in doing this on country elsewhere?
We're getting a bit of pressure. I might have to...
If
can
you
we
can
talk
quick,
after?
maybe continue.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no,
maybe
that's all right.
continue
I'm
the
definitely
conversation
happy to-
after, if that's okay. We do
Yeah,
have to
thank
wrap
you.
up to give
Great.
chance for people to
Thanks
come
so
in.
much, everyone.
Thank you so much.